We are Wolfpack. Our goal here is to design a problem using a human centered design approach. Jerry Burton is part of Denver Homeless Out Loud. He's a homeless advocate and he used to be homeless himself. And he said that the city put good money behind bad ideas. A lot of times they do that because they don't talk to the people who are experiencing homelessness. And since half of our team is UX designers, we wanted to make sure that we really put the effort into understanding the problem before we came up with the solution. Over the course of the last year, we've interviewed 7 nonprofits. We're a part of 2 survey collections, 3 blockchain conferences attended, 3 case studies researched, and 3 city council meetings, equaling over about 100 plus hours of UX research. Homeless Joe is our user persona. One of the first things we did was we actually spent the time to interview the homeless and understand their pain points. Joe is chronically homeless, which means he's been homeless for over a year. He probably has some sort of debilitating condition, whether that be mentally or physically disabled, and it's very likely that he has a substance abuse or drug addiction problem. He has no form of identification because he doesn't trust the government and he's very weary of nonprofits. He's got no bank account because he doesn't have a physical permanent address, and he also doesn't have a form of identification to set one up. He has no accessible labor market because there's not an established empathetic relationship between the homeless and the available jobs to be done. And he's also very vulnerable to wage theft. Recent studies in the state of Colorado show that 6 out of 10 day laborers or lower income laborers experience wage theft by their employers. This causes what's known as learned helplessness theory, where the homeless feel so separated from the community in which they reside and they're looked down upon and treated horribly that they've honestly stopped caring about whether or not they're homeless or getting better. And this proliferates the problem of a lack of social capital and civic engagement with their surrounding community. Wolfpack is a token based gig economy that provides an accessible labor market, identification, work history, a personalized wallet, wage theft protection, and ultimately financial empowerment to the homeless. We do this through this ecosystem. So the user identities are supplied by Fortmatic for both the employer, Joe, and the vendor, where Joe can spend the money that he's earned, supported by a POA network that shows case studies and use cases that support lower cost transactions. These will be enacted by smart contracts between the employer and Joe, preventing wage theft. Joe now has an identity. He has a wallet. He has purchasing freedom with restrictions. So Joe can use this money that he's earned to go buy food. He could buy a hotel voucher. He could buy clothing. He could buy a haircut. And so it gives him more buying power than what he would have on food stamps or SNAP. But there is restrictions. So Joe couldn't use this to liquidate to cash, go buy drugs, alcohol, or weapons. And the goal would be to use something like Chainlink for off chain transactions so that he could pay his vendor directly into a PayPal account. So in our Envision prototype, you'll see that I'm the vendor or employer, Restaurant 2002. I have the option to create a work or a sell ticket. If I create a work ticket, such as an easy job like a dishwasher, I create this ticket. I say that I want to start a contract with this homeless person's identity that we've set up using Fortmatic. I enact this clock in, scanning either the coin that we provide to them or the QR code that's on their phone. Most people don't know that a lot of the homeless actually have not only cell phones, but they have smartphones. And so I can start this contract between Joe and the employer. They both agree upon it so that they know when they clock in and when they clock out to prevent wage theft. When I end the contract, I can show a description. Bob showed up on time and was incredibly grateful for the work. I would definitely hire him again. Now this contract has been completed. I'm confirming with Joe that I'm going to pay him $30 for 2 hours of work. I also have the option of giving Joe a reward, so he can earn an award for going over the top, showing up on time, having a positive attitude. This is encouraging the homeless through positive reward system and showing positive behavior. They've already kind of been treated poorly by a lot of the community, so this encourages them to do good work and with this reward system, they can now show a work history to future employers. And it also kind of functions like a credit history if they ever wanted to apply for Section 8 housing or some sort of other resource. When they clock out, the contract gets ended, and we can see right here on the public chain, great job today, Bob. You've earned $30. And now, if Bob wanted to, on the other end, he could also go to this employer who could also function like a vendor and buy a subsidized meals ticket for $5. And so then Joe can now use that money, be charged $5 from this vendor, and now has purchasing power. With Wolfpack, we have the ability to solve a human-centered problem, which is understanding the pain points of the homeless, providing them identification, providing them a way to work with employers that understand their pain points and where they're coming from, and ultimately provide them a wallet, a form of identity, and buying power. If you have any more questions, please stop by our booth, and the rest